Hi, Big Jim here with Lucille Marie, and we're looking at the new cabinets that I built or the new cabinet I built in my new liquor cabinet. A non-boat project, but everything applies to working with wood or plastic or metal. So just be aware that these little tips can help you with your boat as well as with other projects around the house. One of the things that we're doing right now is I'm installing the hinges for the doors. And the trick here is that these particular hinges have 3 screws. And what I noticed when after I'd already put in a few of the screws, that the screws actually are different sizes. So you can see here that there are smaller screws and longer screws. Why is that? Well, in many cases, when you're putting doors on a cabinet, the cabinet itself is built with thicker wood, and the doors are usually thinner. In this case, the cabinet and the doors are built of the same thickness. So the screws could be interchangeable in that situation, except for the fact that there are 3 screws on the door side of the hinge and only 2 on the hanging part of the hinge. And so in that case, we want to take we have 2 screws here. It's kind of hard to see it this way. But we're going to take the longer of the 2 screws and use that on the cabinet, and then the shorter ones go in the hinge, because if you count the screws, you'll notice that they give you 3 smaller ones and 2 larger ones for each hinge. And so that obviously tells you that they want to use the 2 longer ones on the door. It also gives you a little bit more biting power and holding power for the doors. That way when the doors are actually attached with only 2 screws, you'll get about the same kind of holding power that you would get with the 3 smaller screws. In this case, all the screws could be the same size for my cabinet, and that would be fine. Over here, the last time you saw the cabinet, it was nearly done, and now it's almost ready for paint. I sanded down the body of the cabinet. The only thing that needs to be sanded now is the top, and get rid of the burrs and the glue stains and things like that, and then we're ready. As I mentioned before, the drawer tilts, and it actually is stopped by the cross member here, so it will tip over just so far. And the nice thing about it is, when you're mixing drinks, you can see the names of the labels on the bottles while you're mixing. So that just makes it easier to select the alcohol you're trying to pour. And then when you're ready, you can tilt it back. Now, one of the little tricks that I was thinking about installing on here is attaching a guide on the doors that would actually be attached to the shelf here. And then when you open the door, it would pull on that guide and then tip the shelf automatically as you're opening the door. And then when you close the door, it automatically tips it back. I put metal brackets on the inside of the shelf here on both sides that keep the shelf from tipping over backwards. And so those are 2 little things. And I might put some rubber stoppers on that to give it a little bit of a cushion when you tip it back, that it stops before it bounces too hard. Anyways, we're nearly done. My wife got paint yesterday, so the doors are all sanded down, ready for paint. The body of the cabinet's sanded down, ready for paint. And the only thing I need to do now is sand the top of it. Give it a good 2-3 coats of paint, and that way we've got a cabinet that you can be proud of. Anyways, this is Big Jim at Lucille Marie out. We'll give you a view of the cabinet when it's all finished. Thanks.